The Kano state government's decision to reinstate the ousted Emir of Kano, Muhammadu Sanusi, have been halted by a court order from the Federal High Court in Kano. Aminu Baba Dan Agundi, the Sarki Dawaki Baba of Kano Emirate, has sued the Kano state government, House of Assembly, the Speaker, Attorney General of Kano State, and a host of others, in suit filed on Thursday, 24th of May 2024. Justice Liman of Federal High Court, sitting in Kano, granted an ex parte order stopping Governor Abba Yusuf-led Kano state government from reinstating Emir Muhammadu Sanusi II. In the suit, parties are hereby ordered to maintain status quo ante until the passage and assent of the bill pending the hearing of the fundamental rights application. The judge adjourned the case to 3rd June 2024 for hearing of the fundamental rights application. But in the meantime, let's take a look at the events of yesterday, the 23rd of May, especially the moment the signing into law of the Kano Emirate Council repeal bill took place, the moment Muhammadu Sanusi was reinstated as the 16th Emir of Kano 4 years after his deposition. The law effectively dissolves the Emirate Councils created by Governor Abba Yusuf's predecessor, Abdullahi Ganduje. All former emirs in the 5 emirates have been given 48 hours to vacate their palaces and hand over Emirate Council properties.
From the very moment I signed the bill into law, it means that all appointments made in accordance with that 2019 law are voided, and the balkanized Kano Emirate has been restored to its original pre-2019 status, guided by the provisions of the Kano State Chiefs and Emirs Appointment and Deposition Law 1984 and the Kano State Emirate Council Repeal Law 2024, with full support of the kingmakers. I have approved the reappointment of Malam Sanusi Lami.
Still on the Kano event of yesterday, Thursday, the 23rd of May, Arise correspondent Ayo Adenaye reports on the day's events at the Kano Assembly, which led to Sanusi's halted reinstatement.
Heavy security presence at various entrances to the Kano State House of Assembly. The presence of the security operatives creates tension within the assembly premises as members arrived at the chamber for the day's proceedings. The day's sitting focused on a bill seeking to nullify the creation of Bichi, Rano, Gaya, and Karaye Emirates. The bill, titled the Kano State Emirate Council Amendment No. 2 Law 2024, was sponsored by Lawan Hussein Gurasa, the majority leader and member representing Dala constituency. The bill, which has already secured first and second reading, eventually secured the third reading as members unanimously agreed to the abolishment of the 4 new emirates created by the former governor of the state, Abdullahi Ganduje.
The history of this issue is that the Kano State Emirate as a geographical expression is a product and a reflection of historical past. It is necessary, sir, to restore, preserve, and protect the Kano Emirate system as it historically existed and was traditionally recognized for the continued peace, order, stability, and the good governance of Kano State. I raise to call the attention of this House and to agree on this proposed bill, a bill for a law to provide for the repeal of Kano State Emirate Council law.
The new bill states that all offices created under the repealed law have been dissolved and district heads appointed or elevated under the previous legislation are to revert to their former positions.
A bill for a law to provide the repeal of Kano State Emirate Council Law 2019-1445 dated 2 December 2019-1440, 1AH, Kano State Emirate Appointment, Emir Appointment and the Provision Amendment Law 2019-1440 dated 8 May 2019 and the Kano State Emirate Council Amendment Law 2020-1442 dated 14 October 2020 1442 and Kano State Emirate Council Amendment Law 2023-1444 and for the other matters connected herewith are hereby passed.
Speaker, there are speculations that the dissolution of the four emirates was done to pave way for the return of the deposed 14th Emir of Kano, Muhammadu Sanusi II. Already, the current Emir of Kano, Aminu Ado Bayero, and his Bichi counterpart, Nasiru Ado Bayero, have traveled out of the state. The governor of the state, Abba Yusuf, is expected to ascend to the bill soon. Until then, anxiety continues to hang over the state. Ayo Adinaye, Arise News.
And finally, Arise correspondent Nisi Gabriel, who was also on ground yesterday, spoke with residents in Kano about their reaction to Sanusi's return.
In the realm of Kano State's politics, reminiscent to the intrigues in Game of Thrones, Muhammad Sanusi II makes a comeback to the throne 4 years after his removal as Emir. His reinstatement by the governor of Kano State, Governor Abba Yusuf, has stirred several reactions, with some in support of it, while others have expressed concerns about its implications.
We are feeling good, Alhamdulillah, mashallah. The governor has returned our good Emir. They have changed anything that they have recited. So we are happy, we are very, very happy, thank you.
What Abba did now, or what state government did now, is what people of the Kano are required. Because we need this change that happened in Kano, we need this change, we support it, and we appreciate it.
We are happy with the return of Sanusi Lamido Sanusi II. He is a revered scholar and emir, one that we are proud of in Kano State. Today, my heart is gladdened and my confidence has been restored. Since the previous government dethroned him, we were not happy, but today God has brought us a new change. And I want to commend the executive governor for his payback to us from Kwasiya. What happened to us in Kano was something that attracted global attention, prompting their warning against any action that would amount to disrupting the Kano Emirate. But it happened. That ugly episode was encouraged by members of the royal family. But Allah will not put his servant to shame.
Joining us now on the morning show as we take a look at the initial reinstatement of Muhammadu Sanusi II as Emir of Kano and the latest court order halting the reinstatement is Sanusi Bature, Director General, Media and Publicity to Kano State Governor. Good morning, Mr. Bature, and welcome to the morning show.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
All right, so we'll go straight in. First is your response or reaction to the Federal High Court ruling in Kano State, bearing in mind that the governor had given an ultimatum, 48-hour ultimatum, to the current emirs of the 5 emirates in Kano State to hand over. And now the court has ruled that you must maintain status quo until the 3rd of June for further hearing. What's your reaction or response to that from the state government?
First of all, we need to understand that this is an ex parte order, and it's given largely for probably protection of the fundamental human rights of the subjects involved in this case. And unfortunately for those that filed this case, the court order came many, many hours after the decision of His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Kano State, Alhaji Abba Yusuf. This bill that was signed into law emanated from the State House of Assembly. It's not even an executive bill. And His Excellency, having reviewed the content of the law and in fulfillment of his campaign promises, during the 2023 campaign activities, he decided to restore the lost glory of Kano State. Over a 1,000-year history of the state has been bastardized by the previous administration of Ganduje, and it's time to restore back the lost glory of the state, because our rich history and culture is what we are proud of. And this decision of assenting to the law, and also the decision to reinstate Emir Muhammadu Sanusi as the 16th Emir of Kano and taking Kano back to the single emirate system, is done in good faith by His Excellency and in the best interest of the people of Kano, because that is what they have been craving for. And during the campaign, His Excellency had promised the people, and yesterday he was able to fulfill one of the major promises that relates to the socio-economic status of the state. So therefore, the court order came at a time when the decision has been taken, and court orders are meant to prevent something happening. His Excellency signed the law at exactly 5 p.m. yesterday, and the court order came after 11 p.m. So therefore, this is just something that came at a very wrong time, and by law, the state is not binded by this court order. So therefore, the emir has been restored, and 48 hours was given to the former emirs to vacate the palaces, and I think most of them have already vacated the palaces. So this is to us a bygone issue, because what happened has happened already. Okay. And Kano people are very happy with the decision to return their revered Emir, Sanusi Lamido Sanusi, popularly known as Malam Muhammad Sanusi II.
Okay, Sanusi yourself, I'd like to ask you. So that means you guys are not going to listen to the expert that says hold things. You know, is Sanusi Lamido going to be moving in today to Kano? When is he making his entry back to Kano? When is he going back to the palace? Because we hear the other emir is not out, is not in town. So when is he going to move back to Kano? Because I hear 48 hours. Is it after 48 hours, or is it going to be today? Which is very symbolic day in Islam. It's a Friday. It's a praying day.
Well, to your surprise, Emir Muhammadu Sanusi II, the 16th Emir of Kano, is already in Kano.
Okay.
He is already in Kano.
When did he get it? He got it yesterday?
At the moment His Excellency announces, yes, he has been in Kano since yesterday. Immediately after his reappointment, he arrived Kano, because the reappointment is what gave him the right to step into Kano and start doing some activities in preparation for his return to the palace. And 48 hours was given to the former emir, and by tomorrow evening, the former emir should have vacated the palace. But to tell you, many of those former emirs have already vacated the palaces in accordance with the directives of the governor. And this is an executive order. His Excellency reviewed the content of the law and decided to assent into the law, because it's for the good of the people of the state. So therefore, and like I said earlier, this law emanated from the State Assembly. And you know, we need to respect the check and balances of the power separation, executive, legislature, and the judiciary. This issue is originally from the State Assembly. And the same State Assembly was used to actually bastardize the Kano Emirate into 5 different emirates.
Sanusi, you've said that before. You've said that. We've gotten that slant.
Yes.
What I'm trying to ask is, so that means you are not going to be respecting
so straight to the point.
Yeah, you're not going to
Emir Muhammadu Sanusi II is in Kano.
Yeah.
Is in Kano, and his announcement came many hours before the court order. So court orders are meant to stop something that is supposed to happen. But this one came extremely late. And even at late, we saw it in the pages of social media. So therefore, Emir Muhammadu Sanusi...
So you're not respecting the court order that says, maintain status quo to the 2nd or 3rd before they hear both parties on the case. You're not respecting that. Is that what you're saying now? The state is not respecting that. You're saying...
Well, Rufai, you need to understand the gist.
Yeah.
You can only respect a court order that came at the right time. That is why in courts, some courts say if you file a case that is outside the time frame of filing, they say start to bar. So therefore, a court order that came after a decision should not be valid.
Mr. Bature.
So therefore, and yes, the court order came at a time when decision has been taken.
Mr.
And
Bature.
the court order is saying that we should maintain status quo. So therefore, if we are to respect the court order, is to maintain the status quo after the reappointment of Emir Muhammadu Sanusi. Because at the time when the court order came, Muhammadu Sanusi was reappointed.
No,
Mr. Bature. In our case, if we want to respect the order,
Bature,
then we have to maintain the status quo as far the reappointment.
With your respect, don't mislead the public. What the court order did say, the ex parte motion did say is respect the status quo to what it used to be before this decision was implemented. That's what it says. And that's why it says it will listen to both parties on the 3rd of June. That's what it says. So, and it's not a new thing, because when even Sanusi himself too was deposed, he did go to court where he did win the case of, breach of fundamental human rights. So that's what the court order says. So let's respect that. You can step in now. But let's not mislead people.
Yes, I think it's important.
Okay, so let me take you on a short journey on the issue of the respect for the fundamental human rights of the former emirs. First of all, you remember what happened to Emir Sanusi when he was dethroned by the previous administration. His fundamental human rights were violated and he was taken to a village in Nasarawa State. And in our case, we respected the human right, the fundamental human rights of those emirs by one, not arresting them, or even forcing them out of the palaces, but by giving them ultimatum to vacate the palaces within 48 hours. So therefore, nobody is hurt, nobody is touched, nobody is abused in Kano. Nobody has done anything to anybody other than the executive directives by His Excellency, which has been given to him by the powers. So therefore, we already respected the fundamental, and they were given enough security and nobody said they should leave Kano.
All right, so I hear you.
The dethronement of Emir Sanusi, Ganduje, and he was somehow detained. So in this case, fundamental human rights of anybody within the system.
All right, Mr. Bature, I hope you can hear us.
What I'm trying to say here is need to move anywhere because they are no longer the emirs. And Kano State under the State Assembly, which has to me is a very simple one, Rufai. We need to understand has been taken, and nobody's human right is no cause for alarm. Kano is peaceful, and people are jubilating.
All right, I believe we've lost connection with Mr. Sanusi Bature at this time. We'll take a short break so we can reestablish connection and continue the interview with regards to the reinstatement of Emir Muhammadu Sanusi II as the 16th Emir of Kano. It's still the morning show here on Arise News, and we are still speaking with Sanusi Bature, Director General, Media and Publicity to Kano State Governor on the recent reinstatement of the 16th Emir of Kano, Muhammadu Sanusi II. Mr. Bature, I hope you can hear me now.
Very well.
Fantastic. So we'll go straight in. We had a conversation this morning around the separation of government or politics and traditional institutions. We've seen this play out, as we said earlier, in Kano State about 40 years ago. How can this administration strengthen traditional institutions so that it is not marred by politics and the bias of politics as we've seen in the past?
Well, I think one of the primary reasons for reverting the law and reinstating Emir Sanusi is to tell the world that the traditional institution is not political and it should stay as such. If we allow this thing to continue, then there will come a time when every regime will have its own emir or traditional rulers or what have you. So therefore, that is why even during the campaign activities, we said that we are going to restore the system to its normal and standard status. Because politics, we are politicians, of course, but we have to allow the traditional and religious institution to stay away from politics and be able to advise the politicians and government in power on what is good for the people, because they represent the people. And the State Assembly was able to pass this bill into law with an intention to ensure that such bastardization never happened again. And we protect the heritage, the cultural heritage of the state, because this is something that people value. This is something that people are used to it. Like I said earlier, it's over 1,000-year culture and tradition in Kano State. So therefore, it's a way of life. And we respect so much the traditional institution in such a way that any decision taken for the people is going to be in consultation of the traditional institution. So therefore, what His Excellency did is in the best interest of the state, and it is also the best interest of the institution itself to avoid politicization of such institution.
I mean, and that's very apt, because we've always said that we shouldn't politicize our traditional institutions, which we feel are very sacred to us based on the traditional antecedents. But
correct.
I would like to now say, going forward, we have gotten some reaction from the state. A lot of people, are in support based. Anyway, I must have to put a caveat based on the people that were interviewed. Probably if we get another broad spectrum, you'd see other people again. So what next in all of this? What next in part of the dismantling of the structures of Ganduje's administration again? What's going to be the next salvo in all of this? And what's the future after this for the state?
Well, I need to clear this impression that we are not after Ganduje. This is not vindictive approach. What we are doing is to right the wrong of Ganduje's administration, because Ganduje has done a lot of harm than good in Kano within the last 8 years of his administration. And part of what we promise people is to make sure that we correct all the anomalies and ensure Kano is back to life. Kano's image is restored and the lost glory is also restored to ensure that we have a sustainable development. Okay. So therefore, whatever happens. We won election with a clear margin in 2023 with over 1 million votes, and at the same time we are running the system of government in a transparent approach. And sometimes we have to take decisions that may be hard, but we are doing it for the sake of the future generation, because history will not forgive us if we did not do the right thing at the right time. So there's no cause for alarm. And there's no regret for all these kind of decisions, because they are done in the best interest of the state and its people.
Okay, so what next? Are we going to have a ceremony? Are we going to have a reinstatement event? Is there going to be a triumphant entry, walk back into the...
Yeah, let me give you a breaking news. In the next few minutes, by 10 a.m. this morning, the Emir is going to receive the reappointment letter from His Excellency in a very colorful event. And all the district heads are going to submit to the new Emir as the 16th Emir of Kano. They're going to declare their loyalty, and thereafter he assumes duties. So that's all. So and it's not going to be a series of ceremony, because it's reinstatement.
So after that,
it's reinstatement of the 14th Emir. So he's now the 16th Emir of one single Kano Emirate. We don't know what happened tomorrow or next from the State Assembly, but at the moment, it's one Kano, one Emir, like we have one governor.
Okay, so after he received the letter by 10 a.m., and thank you so much. That's the breaking news came out there on the rise. Thank you so much, Bature, for giving us a chance, to be the platform where you break that news. So 10 a.m., we're watching that. So after 10 a.m., he makes his triumphant entry back to the Gidan Rumfa, the historical Gidan Rumfa in Kano, and he takes reins of office, right?
Well, I cannot confirm that. It's subject to Emir's interest, but 48 hours was given for the former emirs to vacate the palace. So I don't know what will happen after 10 a.m. after receiving the letter, but I'm sure your team are here to follow the issue very well.
All right, thank you.
So I cannot confirm where he go next,
yeah.
But he's going to receive the letter.
All right, interested. I'd like you to just share in detail, since you're sharing it for the first time, in terms of what the ceremony, the details of the ceremony. I know you've qualified it as being colorful, but what are the significant things that will happen today? And then very briefly, you said something really important, that you wanted to turn around some of the bad policies from the previous administration. Any more things would you be turning around, aside from this reinstatement? Are there other things that he did wrong that you'd be fixing in this new administration?
Well, yes. So for any policy that we're going to review or abolish or whatever, there should be a stakeholder engagement to understand the opinion of the people, like we did with the emirate thing. So therefore, we inform the public on the issues at stake only. For now, is the emirate thing that has been done. And in terms of the nature of this event, it's not like a coronation. The emir has been reappointed, and he needs to officially receive the appointment letter. Ideally, he should be served the letter wherever he is. Thereafter, then proceed to Kano to assume duty. But in this case, after the reappointment, the emir came back to Kano, and therefore he's going to receive the letter directly from the governor. And after receiving the letter, His Excellency will make a speech, and then the emir will respond, and then all the traditional title holders in Kano, particularly the district heads and kingmakers, are going to come to him to show their loyalty and respect, and thereafter he would decide when to enter the palace. But there are difference between assumption of duty and arriving into the palace. You can assume duty of a new responsibility from whatever location you decided to, and then you can also assume duty in your office. So that decision is not a government decision, it's the emir's decision with his kingmakers to decide when they go to the palace. It can be today, it can be tomorrow, depending on what they decide, so we don't have anything to do with that. But what the governor said is that the palace should be available within 24 hours from 5 p.m. yesterday. So therefore, by 5 p.m. tomorrow, the palace should be readily available to receive the 16th Emir of Kano, Alhaji Muhammadu Sanusi II.
All right.
So, that's all.
Well, thank you very much. We look forward to seeing clips and footage from the ceremony later on, in a few minutes actually, 17 minutes, when Muhammad Sanusi II, who is now the 16th Emir of Kano, will formally receive the letter from the governor, Abba Yusuf, in Kano State.